Greetings, Professor McKee here with another quick Excel tip your finance professor wishes you knew. In this video, you'll learn how to use the PV function in Excel to find the present value for a loan. In any intro finance class, you will have a unit on time value of money, and we professors will always have questions where we give you 3 of the characteristics and ask you to find that missing one. If you want to ace those questions, this video is for you. I have prepared a question here asking us to find a present value, specifically how much our friend can borrow and keep the loan mathematically fair based on our time value of money calculation. In order to get started, my recommendation is always to take that verbal description and convert it into numbers so that we can calculate our answer. For n, the number of periods, we have a 3-year loan here, so our number is 3. For I, our interest rate, we have a 7% interest rate, so it's going to be 0.07. Present value, PV, is going to be our thing we're trying to find, so we'll go past that. And future value is the amount that our friend is repaying us. That's going to be the 450 for F of V. So all we have left now is present value. We go here, we type in equals PV, open parentheses, and we now want to enter the things we just wrote down for an interest rate and so on. So our interest rate is first. For rate, we're going to have 0.07. Then N per, which stands for number of periods, we have 3 periods. And then payment. Payment doesn't exist here. Payment stands for regular payments that our friend would be making during the life of this loan, but he's not doing that. He's not making any interest payments. He's only repaying us once at the end. So payment is going to be 0. The F of V is for future value. That would be the 450. It's in brackets because there's a default value of 0 for future value, but we of course don't want 0. We need 450 here. This is a loan, not a gift. And type also has a default value. We can leave that alone because it'll work fine for this type of question. So our answer here is 367. That is how much our friend can borrow today to have it be equivalent to that 450 that he is promising to repay us 3 years from now. Now, if we want to be a little fancier, use better Excel practices, and most importantly, be able to reuse this question in future time value of money questions, because there will be more, we can use cell references. So instead of typing our parameters in to the PV function directly, we can tell Excel what cell to reference when it is doing the calculation. So instead of typing in 0.07 for rate, I entered the interest rate here in B7 in preparation for this. So I type in B7, and now a cell is highlighted because Excel is going to look at B7, take whatever value I put in there, and use that as the interest rate. Number of periods was in B6. Payment, there is nothing to do for cell references here because it's always going to be 0. There's no payments in this type of question. And then future value is B9, and we can once again just leave type as default. And I get that exact same 367 when I entered things in directly. But now I can change any of these 3 values, or more than one of them, at the same time because I have a new question, and it will automatically update my present value to give me the answer. And so let's do an example here. So I have, instead of a 3-year loan, let's say it's a 7-year loan. I change 3 to 7, and my present value updates. He is now able to borrow less. We have a longer length of time here. So the present value is now 280. And just as a note, present value is negative. That is because Excel is solving this question from somebody's perspective. From one person's perspective, that 280 is cash going out. That's our perspective, because we're losing that money to our friend. And the 450 is positive cash to us because it's cash coming in. We're receiving it once the loan is up. And Excel always assumes that when it's calculating using this function, that cash is moving in some directions here. This is a real life problem. And so if we don't have those signs correctly, it's going to give us problems. Right now, we had just one cash and being entered into our function, so it didn't matter if we made 450 negative or positive. All that changes is that present value would show up the opposite sign as our future value. Now, with this single function, you can find the present value for any time value of money question your professor might throw at you. If you found this video helpful, please comment, like, and/or subscribe so that other students can find it too. Happy studying!